All right, guys. So I will admit, I'm a grown man. I love horror. People who know me for years, know that when it comes to horror, I accept all. I am fearless of all. And I will be honest, I think the only figure that ever kind of creeped me out was Regan, only because Exorcist always creeped me out as a child because I'm Italian, I'm Catholic, and, like many others have said, that subject matter of possession or whatever, whatever, just as freaky. So when I had Rusty Blonde's Regan, when I first got her, I admit, like, I was still kind of creeped out and it looked really good. But I'm just going to say right now, this little thing, okay, creeps the shit out of me. All right, look at this. I don't know how Rain Man did it, but somehow he made this doll look creepier than the real one. I mean, like, I don't know if it's because it's 1/6 and smaller, or it's like the eyes. Look at the eyes. And it looks like it follows you. Like, wherever you put the camera, like, I swear, it's creepy. It really is. It's a creepy doll. But that's good, right? Because she's supposed to be creepy, especially when she's kind of like a little messed up. But this is kind of representing her in the prequel, like when she was still sort of like an ordinary doll. But look at that. And the head does turn. So you can turn the head, which is cool. And her braids are movable, so you can like swivel them so you can have it behind or in front. So I had a chance to grab this, and it's a special figure because for two reasons. One, he only made like 13 of them. See right there, 12 or 13, and it comes with a 1/6 homemade rocking chair that he made, which is beautiful. I mean, it looks like the real deal, just shrunk it down to 1/6. And what's nice about the scale is that you can even put a 12-inch figure in here, and the rocking chair would be to scale for the figure. So that's pretty cool. So it comes with the chair, comes with the figure, comes with the certificate by Rain Man. And there's the box. This is actually just the cover of the box. The box is nice. The box is over there. There's my Godzilla looming in the background. So, yeah, look at that. Creepy. Creepy. I'm going to try to focus in better here because my camera's a little out of focus, and I don't want you to miss any details on this. There we go. Look at that. So there's the picture. There's the real doll. There's the picture in the certificate. I mean, just as creepy. Look at that. Oh, God. That's nuts. Anyway, so the dress is beautiful. Oh, so anyway, I was saying, I'm sorry, I got distracted. This doll just creeps me out. But I was getting distracted because what I was saying is, number one, it's very limited. And he did this after he broke away from the former company he was affiliated with. And this is like his first personal project where he personally did 13 of these. So it's a special figure because this is like the first one that he did independently since he's broken away. So that kind of makes it special, and obviously with it being in the horror genre, it wasn't long before one of these were going to end up in my lap, and that's exactly what happened. Look at that. Crazy. But the doll, it actually feels like it's very delicate, and it does feel like a doll. I think he's using the same like rubber band string system that he did with Sam. So it's kind of similar in that feel, but once again, it's a homemade body. And when you pick her up, she has that kind of lifeless kind of feel like a doll would. Yeah. I mean, it has such a cool feel to it. Like it actually feels like a miniaturized doll. That the way that Annabelle was supposed to be in the film. So I mean, what can I say? Look at that. It's just creepy no matter how you pose her. She just has like that face like, I'm going to kill you. So I think, they're all great films. I even like Insidious, which I think is done by the same people, even though it's not in the same universe. But they have a shared universe going on with Annabelle, The Conjuring, The Nun, and so on. I heard they're going to do more like the Crooked Man or what have you that appeared in the second Conjuring, I think. I heard they're going to do a movie with that character too. So, we have plenty of horror goodness on the way. So yeah, always loving the Halloween time of year, especially this year with the new Halloween being out and Michael Myers returning to form with John Carpenter producing and all that good stuff. So, but that's a separate video. That's a movie review. But anyway, I'm always pumped for Halloween, and obviously this figure fits right in. So this is going to be a cherished grail in my collection. And I don't know, this one is so like unique and cool. I don't think, I mean, famous last words. I mean, obviously, if something happens, you got to do what you got to do. But this one, somebody's gonna have to pry away from me because this is really cool. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, enough about this figure. On to the next. Okay, so this is another oldie but goodie, but I had a show. Just picked this up recently. Off of someone that was happened to be selling. It's the Game Boy full set from Rain Man, 2 of 20, according to the gold cert. This is an old figure, so nothing new. I'm not going to spend an enormous time reviewing it. Obviously, it's been around for years, and it's a classic, especially for the Rain Man collectors. And it's something I've always kind of wanted to get my hands on to see it for myself, and finally had an opportunity to do it because I was late to the game when this was available originally. Tailoring everything, Yinsel and obviously Rain Man sculpt. And since this is a full set, I'm assuming this was painted by him. So it's beautiful done, the mask. There's other accessories and stuff that you saw in the pics that it comes with. I didn't put everything out for the sake of this vid. I have everything packed away, and people know the other items it comes with and stuff. The detail of the outfit is still great and holds up to this day. I have the clockwork orange stand with a decal on it, so I think that's a nice little bonus I picked up from the seller. And here's look at the details with the eyeballs on the sleeves. Cool. I believe there's one on each sleeve. And again, nothing new to people that have seen this figure or have known this figure for a while. But really cool. The mask is awesome. I can't decide. I mean, his face sculpt is so sinister. Look at the way he's like looking up. I mean, he just looks insane. Malcolm McDowell, one of his early work, and great work. It's a cult classic to this day. Very twisted movie, especially the scene where they're rehabilitating him and his eyes are held open with the toothpicks or what have you. I mean, to this day, that's a disturbing image. So there's with the mask on. So I don't know. I kind of like it with the mask on, but then I also like to see the face and admire the sculpt with the mask off. So it looks awesome, really, either way. There's his glass of milk there. So I kind of have a combination of two poses. The famous pose where his arms are kind of flared out, but I also wanted him to hold the drink, so I kind of have my own hybrid pose where he's with the cane with his legs crossed, but also holding the drink. So it's kind of like a happy compromise between two different poses, I always like to be a little different, but I think I also like, the mask is great, but I think I like the mask kind of like hanging off his neck, kind of like that, and I'll futz it so, it clears his mouth and stuff. It's hard to do that with one hand when I'm filming. There we go. Because I think then you have the best of both worlds. I mean, you're showing the mask and the details of the mask, but at the same time, his face is showing with all the little details with the eyes and the eyelashes and stuff like that. This movie is not for everyone. It's not for the faint of heart. I mean, especially in the 70s, a time of exploitation, and it certainly didn't hold any punches as far as being controversial. Him and his gang there, did some pretty nasty things and vile things, and they did not leave much to the imagination when you saw the movie. Very, very perverted, very cruel, very nasty. So that they really set up things well as far as showing the characters, especially him in particular, and his antics and why he ended up in the position that he was in, with them trying to have him turn another leaf. So it's a movie that's become, like I said, a cult classic. For one, I've seen the movie a couple times, a handful of times through the years. It's disturbing, and it's a great film, well done. He acts phenomenal, so you can appreciate the film. But a lot of people may watch that film and not like it, and I can kind of understand why. So it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely not for everyone, but it's part of film history. It's part of, Malcolm McDowell's work, and awesome work that is. And it's now part of 1/6 history with some variations and interpretations of the character done, whether it's commercially like Metacom or whatever, or in the custom world. And in the custom world, you can't get any better than Rain Man here. I have, this is really, really well done, and I'm happy to own it now, so I can kind of share in the glory of having this figure on display, and it's definitely a grail. All right, so again, I'm sure people could still appreciate seeing it, but it's been around for a few years, so I'm going to cut it right there, and we're going to go right to the next figure. Okay, be back in 1 sec. Okay, guys, I'm back to show this beautiful thing. This is Rain Man's DX set. See, DX version for the 1/6 John from Elephant Man. John full set 1 outfit, and he comes with obviously the certificate, picture frames, including, there's 2 in here, including the small one that you can have him hold in his hand or have it on him. There's the bonus with the DX set, the statue, and it comes with 2 full figures. And when I say full figures, I mean 2 full figures. There's the other one. And what surprised me is how, first off, there is the wire system that Rain Man uses a lot in these figures. And, again, this is not a new figure, so people have seen it already or know. And, when you change the hands out, it comes with extra hands. I think with one of them that you could change the hands, and it has the little hook. And I'm not messing with that. I don't care how badly I want another hand on him. I made that mistake with Sam, with Trick or Treat, and then there was a problem with the string system, and I ended up fixing it. But if you go and change those and you don't realize, or you don't know what you're doing, and the rubber band or the band goes up into the arm, forget it. So you have to know to kind of like hold on to it when you swim. At least that's how Sam worked. I don't know if that worked. I'm assuming, based on how the body feels, it's like the same way, where it's kind of rigged through like a rubber band or like a band kind of string holding the body together. Because again, it's a fully custom body. And I want to give a shout out to Joe Brayton. Thank you very much, because I watched his video with this when I was setting this up. This is a little bit challenging, not so much him, but him to kind of futz and get right with the cape and how it drapes, and holding the cane. I have it on his foot here, and I did put the booties on this foot. But Joe was right about when he said in his video that by doing this, you kind of learn to appreciate the figures better, because when you open the figure up, you see this figure has the same exact head sculpt of this. Like, you can actually technically take this off and have another one of him and a whole set underneath. And then, you put the hood on and you put the cape on to create this secondary look where he's all covered up. With the cane is a nice touch that comes in this nice protected packaging right here. You pull out of here, see the stick. So that's nice. And then obviously there's this version. Now you could put the booties on. And again, when I saw Joe's vid, I agree with him. I think it's better to display him with the booties off on this version, because the entire body is sculpted and deformed like this, and it's heavy. The figures are heavy, like the body's heavy. It does feel like, if you bend the limbs and stuff, you could feel that it has that string system. But overall, I mean, the body is hard. It's like almost like a solid resin feeling. So it's very sturdy, very well made. Look at the craftsmanship there with the hair, the way he captured the face. I mean, God, I was very young when this movie came out, and I remember it was in black and white and all that good stuff. And I got to be really, really honest with you. I don't remember the movie that thoroughly, or the real story. I know I did see it at some point a long time ago, and I haven't watched it in years. And it's not something I particularly care to watch that often or go back to. I mean, it was based on a true story. It was a sad story, obviously, about his life, and how he, dealing with his deformities and hiding, which kind of represents that look. And I just, it's a depressing story. I mean, ultimately, that somebody, went through this, or others that have this type of deformity to go through. So it's kind of sad. And, it's heartfelt. You feel bad, for somebody that would have to live with that. So, I think in my adult life now, I might rewatch it at some point because I don't think I've ever watched it as an adult. I think I was very young and I was a kid when it was out, and I remember almost being creeped out by it because, like I said, I was very young. So I would have to watch it again now as an adult and see like what I think of it, And if you would have asked me back when I got into this hobby, and I even told Joe this, Joe will laugh when he hears me say this in this vid, is that if you would have told me years ago that someday I would be reviewing a Elephant Man 1/6 figure, I would have been like, you're crazy. But yet here we are. And Rain Man does it again, taking some sort of obscure character. And I know that this was requested, this was suggested to him along with other characters he's done. And he took it up, he took the suggest up and he did it and he brought it to life. And this is when you talk about the art side of things or the rareness or the uniqueness, you can't get a better example of in the 1/6 world than something like this. When it comes to Willy Wonka, when it comes to Gang Boy or other things he's done, this is it. So kudos to Rain Man. Kudos to all involved, Yunsil and everybody else that did this figure. This is fantastic.
I'm the leprechaun. Make your wishes. Where's me gold?
Yep, so I picked up this little custom. Big shout out to Tim Lambert. So yeah, he sold me this figure in a very reasonable price. Once again, it wasn't a highly expensive figure. I think it was posted a little bit on sale on Facebook too, and 6 scale grails. That's a tongue twister if you try to say that fast. And I saw it and I was like, oh, another opportunity. Now, you know me. Look at him holding the gold there with the gold sheen. The outfit's really nice. I'm going to show you. It's getting a little dark here now, so I want to use a light here to kind of shine the light so you guys can see the detail here because I'm still doing it in my living room. And, this room gets a lot of natural light, but as soon as it starts getting dark, there's my ceiling fan. I have skylight, so I get a lot of natural light in here, but as soon as it starts getting dark, the light just gets really crappy in this room. So it's about that time. Anyway, so I have a little extra light here to pick up details so I can finish this, showing this figure. See? Plus he looks creepy with the light shining on him. The sculpt is really nice. I will say he looks better with the hat on. I mean, there's, him from the movie. That's a actual picture. So, it's definitely an interpretation. It's not like perfect dead on, but there's not many leprechauns. I know like there's been 1 or 2 that I've seen, and I think Beta Motali did one that looked really nice, and there's been a couple, but this one's really nice, and for the price I couldn't resist. And you know me, I always like to give new customizers or up-and-coming customizers a shot. For example, Rusty Blonde, look how that turned out with the Exorcist Reagan, and that was a newer customizer that not too many people heard about. And I saw the, a Regan she did a while back, and I loved it. And then she, did one for me, and it was fantastic. So this is kind of similar. This kind of custom. This is an artist, I believe Tim said, from Russia, I think. And it comes with this certificate right here. Okay, it comes with a clover. It comes out of an envelope, which is kind of a nice touch, the 4-leaf clover. Me lucky charms. And you open that up, and that is the person's name, Viola Witraka. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So if I'm not, I apologize. But try to put a light on there, and it says underneath, figure custom artist, Viola. So nice little, now the little history behind this figure. Apparently, this was a private commission. I don't know from Tim. I don't know if Tim did it directly or if he got it secondhand too. But it was a one-off. And then I think once she finished this, she did make like a little run, like maybe like 3 or 4 others, I think he said. But this is the one-off. This is the first one that she did. And that's why it's not even like numbered or anything. So, and it comes with this little bag, and there are gold pieces in it. And I put some on the stand there so you guys can see right there, and then I have him holding some in his hand right there, as you could see. So, and I always remember, you guys remember Wayne's World? I may be dating myself right now. For people who are like around my age, Wayne's World, they used to always do the, Mike Myers did the skit where they would do the leprechaun and they would shine the flashlight. That's why I'm doing this, when he would scare Garth and be like, I'm the leprechaun! Ah! I always remember that. That was funny. But anyway, I'm the leprechaun! Okay, I'm being silly now, sorry. But anyway, it's a nice figure. It's not like fully articulated. It's more kind of like in the vein that Rusty Blonde did Regan, where, you know, it's kind of posable, but not completely. The legs are movable, but you can't really bend them. You could turn the feet and stuff. Can't really bend at the knees too much. I mean, I haven't really forced it. Maybe it's bendable, but I really don't want to try. But the outfit's nice. Look at the vest, the pattern, the gold chain going across his jacket there. The buttons, the shoes with the buckles are nice. Nice touch. But the socks and the little gold buttons on the side of the pants there. I mean, I'm really impressed. I don't know much about this artist. And again, that's why I kind of wanted to grab this and, you know, see what it's all about. Now, like I said, not to knock the figure. Look at the shirt underneath too, the yellow shirt, which is nice. Not to knock the figure, but it does look better with the hat on. I wish the hat doesn't like fit completely. You have to kind of like futz with it. It's like a little small. I don't know if I want to customize and make the hole bigger so it fits on the head better, but I think it's meant to kind of fit like that. You know, I'm the leprechaun. Anyway, but with the hat off, as you could see, like again, it's okay, but I don't know. The sculpt is actually very detailed and nice. And again, I always admire sculptors or people that can, you know, do something by hand. And you know, you got, and the paintwork is really nice on the face. A lot of shadows, a lot of details. You know, look at the, I mean, look at the way the eyes, he's looking at the, so I mean, it is a very nice job. And the hair is cool, you know, so he does look creepy, and we definitely know it's the leprechaun. But again, I think the hat is more iconic, and when you put the hat on, it kind of completes the look, and then he looks a little bit more like that, you know. So again, for the price and for what it represents, and it's a full custom, I'm happy. The other thing I would say, the weird or interesting thing is that the arms are kind of linked together. So if you move one arm up, you see how they both start to go? They're like linked together or something. So I don't think you can move the arms separately, which is kind of interesting. But again, it's definitely more for display, and it's definitely more, you know, custom, because this whole thing is custom. This whole body, just like Rusty Blonde did with Regan, Viola made a whole custom body here from like toe to head. So you have to kind of admire that, you know, and it's very unique, and it's definitely a conversation piece, and it's definitely the leprechaun, and I'm happy to own it. So there we go, the leprechaun. All right, we're getting there. Next up, the next figure, but in the meantime, I'm the leprechaun. Ah! Okay, guys, like they say, save the best for last. Well, at least for Halloween anyway. You've seen a lot of customs, and it was getting dark, so now, thanks to my new lighting in my living room, I have extra LED lights that the LifeX, which is the smart bulbs, you know, that you can control through your remote from your app on your phone or through Amazon Echo, Alexa. So I can still film even though it got dark, as you saw with Leprechaun. So this is just masterful work I recently got from Beto, and Beta Metalli, and I had to include this in the Halloween vid. I'm glad I got this early enough that I can film this and get this incorporated into the Halloween vid, even though the vid is already jam-packed, and you know, it's just that time of year, got a lot to show. So really quick, let's go over, we'll do it in order of sequels. So part 4 first. So to give you a little history on the part 4, I had the part 4 originally that you know, he released a couple years ago or 3 years ago, and I had that, and I had the Freddy part 3 that he did, and then I had the Chest of Souls, and then I had paid for the battle damage version, which we'll get into more depthly in a minute. When I take that mask off, you can see the battle damage and the blood coming down the neck, and the battle damaged part 4 mask, which I'll get to that in a minute too, and the battle damaged shirt, the axe, I'll get to that, and then the cut on the pants, perfect, and his hand that is damaged, sliced down the middle there. And he gives you the normal hand too. There's the certificate for this one, the battle damage Jason 1330. And then he gives the machete, which is actually like a metal piece, and then this is metal too, this cleaver, and like I said, the alternate, you know, non-damaged hand that you can use if you want. And then this is the axe that Beta Metalli made that comes with the figure, which is beautifully done and looks real. But I also bought off him that he was selling for a friend almost an exact replica of this style that goes with this figure, or Jason in general, that is done by our buddy Full Metal that we all know very well, Fergo. Goes by Full Metal Customs and makes wonderful stuff. As you know, I have the pitchfork from him, and I have the dolly that I have with my Hannibal Lecter. Makes wonderful stuff. And this axe is actually heavy, and it's metal. When I first put it in his hand, he almost fell over. That's how heavy it is. So finally, after a couple years of waiting, I received my battle damaged Jason. I think the problem was that Beta Metalli was going to do a small run of these, then he decided to only do the head sculpts and the accessories and the hands. But since I already paid for this, he took his time and made sure he put together the full figure for me as promised, and he gave me the box for it, which is pretty much the same type of box that came with the regular Jason 4 that he did, final chapter, basically, like 2 or 3 years back. I unfortunately hit bad times, so I had to sell that Jason 4 to get some money a couple years ago. So in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to eventually get this one, so I didn't mind taking the hit and selling it at the time, because honestly, once you have this version, you don't need any other. Now, the mask that he did, this is a new mask. It's not exactly like the one that originally came with the figure. It was a little more, I don't want him to fall while I'm filming this, so let me just make sure So the mask is a little different. Like I said, he had to make, I guess, a new mask because I guess he didn't have any more from when he originally made the figure. So originally this mask was a lot wider, and it kind of looked like the Jason 6 mask. He might have used the same mold, but then just kind of repainted it to the style of part 4 with the missing cut-off decals and like I said, the battle damage with the blood there that matches this beautiful head sculpt. So what I did was I just minor modification. I wanted it to kind of look more part 4-ish and a little less wide like this version, or part 8 per se when the mask is a little wider. You know, his mask was a little more, you know, close together like this, or kind of, I don't know how you call it, smushed on the sides. So I heated it up a little bit with a blow dryer and just kind of smushed on the sides, and then stuck it in the freezer. So it kind of hardened and took the shape of this new form, which I kind of like a little better. So, you know, easy peasy, couple minutes of modifications, and there you go. But to be honest with you, I didn't really care that much, because the mask, although beautiful, how do you not display it like this? And I'll go one step further. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is just crazy. The eyeballs, like, kind of, if you can't see, like, the eyeballs kind of going up. I don't know if I can get in enough to see that. Look at that. The eyeballs going up into his head. And look at the teeth and the mouth and the details. And look at the blood and the cut. And, of course, the cool part, it looks like he might fall again. See, it's really what's going on with him is the axe. The axe is throwing off, the weight of the axe is throwing off his balance. So I'm going to have to maybe put him on a stand or something like that. And speaking of custom stands, that's also here, which I'll explain. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, I don't want him to fall. But the fun part is you could take the machete And I'm going to pause it for a second so I could place it in his head without toppling over, but you could put it into the cut in his head. Hold on. Check that out. So easy peasy, you just put it right into the slit and it stays. And God, it looks so cool. Look at that. Look at that beauty. That is beautiful. Okay, so there you go. So there's the machete in the head. I mean, look at that. Real easy to put in. You just put the machete in the slit in the head and it just stays. So how do you not display it like that? I think this is how I'm going to keep it. With the machete in the head. Look at that. That is masterful. And then the battle damage hand. And I think the other thing too that delayed him for a while finishing this was that the shirt. He said he ran out of the material, so it took him a while to match up the shirt. And Vito Metalli is a very, particular. He's a perfectionist. He wouldn't feel comfortable completing the figure until he knew he could do it right with the right clothing and what have you. And like I said, the pants with the little battle damage hole there, the cut in his leg. And Vito, like he generally does clean work, so it's kind of cool to see like his work a little more bloody, a little more messy here than normal, because usually it's very clean, very museum pose like with his figures. So anyway, that's everything that comes with that. Beautiful. But there's the mask. Like I said, I'm going to display the mask maybe on him. I don't know, but I think I might just display the mask off if I can ever get it to just kind of sit like that. There we go. So I might display the mask, but I think this one is worthy of him kind of being displayed like this, Put this hand closer to him like that. Hey, look at that. That is awesome. That is gruesome. So cool. Really so cool. Look at that. All right, now I'm zoned in. Look at that. That is awesome. Really, I can't say enough. So thank you. So then, while he was getting ready to send me this, I bought part 6 off of him. And he started shipping these out. So here is Jason Part 6. And this figure is just fantastic. Now, I've done a couple Jason 6 myself as far as kit bashing in my time. And I've done quite a few good ones. And I've sold most of them. But this one is the la creme of the creme as far as, being really, like I said, once again, that very pristine museum-like perfection. It's not bloody. The bullet holes are there. They're kind of black. They're not really like, there's no blood stains or there's not a lot of weathering going on. But that, like I said, that's his style. He's very particular with the look, the outfit, the body, the built does match the actor as far as playing that Jason. Look at the utility belt. I mean, look at the darts and the feathers hanging off the darts there. The yellow, pink, and white. I mean, come on. It's so exact, it's so cool to see it in miniature form like that and see it in 1/6 scale. And of course his army dagger right there, his Rambo knife in the holster, and there's the holder for the machete, which I have him holding right here. Look at the gloves, and in addition to that, look at the shoes right there, the pants, the mask, and then the severed arm that comes with the set. I don't know, like this is the DX set, so I don't know like what's totally the difference. I don't know if the arm doesn't come with the DX. I know that with the DX you get the extra head, which is right here, which I believe this represents when he's like still in the coffin and when he's like a corpse, when he first comes out of the grave, I think. But it's a cool head, and I'll show you the head under the mask in a second too. And he gives you the extra hands if you want to display him before he had the utility belt or the construction gloves there. So you can go the way. And I know the machete, technically to be right, is he's supposed to be holding it in the arm. The hand here is supposed to be holding the machete, but I kind of like Jason holding it, so I have it there. Comes with here's the spear that he uses in the movie. And again, if some people display him holding this, which is fine, and it looks wonderful to have him holding this, but if you really want to get technical and particular, kind of like Beto would, he doesn't have the utility belt on during that scene. It's before he has the belt, before he kills the paint gun players, the paintball gun players, to get the belt. So if technically, if you were to display him holding this, he really shouldn't be wearing the belt if you want to get precise. But like I'm not 100% screen accurate with this right here. other people don't have to be either, so I understand. So it comes with extra glove hands, to hold different weapons and stuff, whether he holds the spear or he holds the machete or the dagger. Beto gives you the extra hands, and then he has this hand here that is designed to hold the arm, which I have on him, and then there's like a closed fist one if you just want him closed fist. And the tombstone, the alternate mask with the extra bullet hole in it, and the crack in the mask from the end, which basically kind of leads into the way the mask looked in part 7, right, with the missing piece. So that's kind of a prelude to part 7. The only thing that he couldn't supply me was a base. He said he was out of the bases, so he did give me the decal to put on like a black base, which is easy enough, so I don't really care. I told him that's fine. I didn't need to wait longer just to get a generic black base with that on it. I could put that on myself. And this one is 9 out of 15. So the advanced edition, so I guess that's like the DX. And I know he comes with a big grand edition that comes with the coffin and then the extra Jason body that you could display in there. I think that kind of like that's what this comes into use for, where you can have his hands and have his arms crossed. And it looks wonderful with the webbing. Looks great, but he didn't have any more available of those, and that is, a lot more scratch, which I couldn't pull off at the time. So I didn't go that route. But it is awesome, and congrats for people that do have it. Now, to get to this base really quick, got to give a shout out to JMD Donnelly, a cool guy. I've done business with before. He's in the hobby. He's part of 6 Scale Grails group, and he's on Facebook. Wasn't always on Facebook, but he is now. And he was selling this, and thank you to him and to Joe Brayton. He let me know that JMD was selling this, and he was kind of helping him sell some stuff, so I found out, and I went for it. And I believe it's Creations Diorama is the name of the company, or the dude that the guy that makes these in another. He's from another country. I don't know if it's Russia or somewhere, but he makes awesome displays. So look at this base. It says "Welcome to Crystal Lake." It's like an actual sign on chains here on the wooden frame here. Look at these poles, the dock with like dirt and leaves on it. If you look closely, look at that. Any Jason would look great on here. So any Jason would look good on this base. So this base, from what I was told, kind of was inspired by that 1/3 or 1/3 scale Jason 4 that was going to come out by, I forgot the company. Was it Prime Studio, one of those where they had like that huge Jason on a base with water and stuff. So I think that was the inspiration for requesting this as a commission from this person that does these, and then from there, I guess other people want it. And he makes other kinds too, so you should check him out. Again, if I'm saying it wrong, I'll double check, and I'll put the name right now in text, subtext on the video if I said it wrong, but I think it's Creations Diorama, I believe is the name. So if you do not see words show up on the video right now, I got it right the first time. Anyway, so look at this. It looks like water. I mean, look at this. Look at the detail under here. The sand, like on the bottom of the ocean, or the lake, I should say, and there's like old paper. Look at that. And then there's like the paper back there that says Crystal Lake that he has like kind of glued to the base. Look at that. But look how like it looks dirty and wet. I mean, it is amazing. It is amazing. It's a chunk of change to buy, but man, oh man, does it really bring things to life. Look at the grass or the moss on top of the wood there, the stand. Oh my God. I'm like noticing things now looking it through the camera because I could see things closer up than I even realized at first. Look at that. Look at the wet leaves and the chains wrapped around the pole. I mean, honestly, it is amazing. As far as like a diorama, it is amazing, and any Jason would look good. And I think I'm going to do a little treat right now. I'm going to show another Jason on here in a bit once I'm done reviewing these guys, because we have to go all out here. But anyway, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Look at the branches. I'm getting like this looks like water. Like it really does look like water. Look at that. That's crazy. God. Okay, I'm losing focus now, and I don't want to make this go on too long. So anyway. Getting back to the fact that this is Beto Matali's Jason 6, Jason Lives, part 6, and shout out to Beto Matali, and look at that, nothing this evil ever does. And it's kind of meant to be to have these two next to each other. If you really think about it, they marry each other. This is part 4, the final chapter when he died and supposedly was over, and then this is part 6 when he was resurrected and came back. And spoiler, Beta Metalli has told me and has mentioned on Facebook, his Facebook page, that he's doing Jason 5 or Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning next, where he's going to do Roy and then the hallucination Jason as maybe like a DX set. That would be incredible, and I'm all in for that if he does that. So, okay, so let me circle back like I promised and show you the head sculpt of this one, the original one. Now, this comes with the set regardless of which version you get. This is by default the main head sculpt, and then you saw the alternate one earlier that I showed you with the other mask. As you can see, the details are amazing. The side there, unbelievable. Look at that piercing one eye. Let me get in there. Look at that eye looking at you, just kind of like, I'm gonna kill you. And then you could see the details of the webbing and the deformity of the other eyeball, the other eye socket. Because we all know Jason infamously is always missing that one eye. Basically, he has the one good eye and the one messed up eye in many variations and incarnations of his looks throughout the movies. So that is just incredible. So again, badass no matter how you display him, whether you display him with the mask on or off, you just cannot go wrong. Anyway, but I wanted to show you one cool trick, and I've been taking pictures, and I guess it's been confusing people as far as the coloring, but because of these new LifeX bulbs I have here, watch what I could do, and it's really cool. It's great for photography. So let me just say, okay, so Alexa, lights green.
Okay.
Look at that. And it totally changes the lighting. How cool is that? I mean, how fun is that going to be for me making videos? I almost want to do it at night now, kind of like the old days when I used to do it in the basement. Isn't that cool? Alexa, lights red.
Okay.
Awesome. I mean, the mood, right? Maybe blue for water. I'll do one more and then I'm done. Alexa, lights blue. There we go. So, like I said, really cool and really changes the mood and the look of the display and the figures. How creepy is that? And of course for Halloween, Alexa, lights orange.
Okay.
Yeah, which in the video it kind of just looks like normal soft white lights, so that's fine. But it is orange. You can't really see it. And you can, use the color wheel in the app and kind of make it deeper oranges or different shades of orange. So really cool. But anyway, that's that. Thank you, Beta Metalli. And thank you, JMD, Joe Brayton, and Creations Diorama for making this wonderful base and hooking me up with it so that I can have it now for this vid and for my Jason. And it's going to be tough to see which Jason I actually put on here. But like I said, I'm going to have a little extra bonus in a second, and I think you guys are going to like it. I'll be right back. Okay, I had to revisit this figure because as of right now, I have the Holy Trinity of Jasons. And this one obviously was done by One's Customs, and I've had him for over a year, and he was one of the stars of my Halloween vid from 2017, from last year. And the reason why I'm showing him again is for a couple reasons. One, because he's freaking awesome and still one of the best Part 7s out there. I mean, ever. Come on. Look at that. I mean, the detail, the nails in the chest. I mean, I went through it last year, so I'm not going to go over it, verbatim, but, you get the idea. It's very detailed figure. Came with the alternate head sculpts, the one with the mouth open, with the split mask, which, I showed pictures of. I mean, it looks great with the mask on or even with the mask off. And then, surprisingly, which I'm going to show for the first time, One actually sent me an updated head later. He had told me originally it was going to come with 3 heads. He said a new version of this one, and then the original version, which is on him now. So I'll take that mask off now so you can see what I'm talking about. And I forgot about that. So when he sent this, I just thought, okay, he sent this one and this one, which looks great. But then he sends this, which is like, if you look, it's like a tweaked, updated version of this one. And I was like so pleasantly surprised because I'm like, wow, I didn't even think I was getting, another head sculpt. And you could see there's like the teeth, there's like minor differences with the teeth. The teeth is a little different in the front, a little more streamlined, a little more closed. The teeth are a little more wacky on this one. The paint job is a little different. It matches up, I guess, with the new body a little better, or the way the paint scheme of this and this one. As you can see, they kind of look like they have the same coloring. Okay, this one sort of matches, but I guess it's from from his older. Now again, it's not that, like I said, it's still, this head is still awesome, and I wouldn't complain either way. I mean, the differences are minor, but at the same time, you can see subtle changes, especially with the mount. So that's why I wanted to show this and give One's Customs a shout out and credit. Like I said, the Holy Grail. Look at that, part 4, part 6, and part 7. And this figure is worthy of being, top shelf quality, or right up there with the quality of Beto Metalli's figures. I'm sure at some point Beto's going to do a part 7. I mean, he said it for years that eventually he wanted to do all of them. So at some point, I'm sure Beto's going to do it. It'll be very interesting to see Beto's take on it, when and if he tackles this. Because, it's been done by One and a few other people, and it's been done very well. And like I said, Beto has a tendency of doing things very clean cut. So this will be a big difference for him, or a change to do something, this kind of grimy and dirty and ripped and weathered and torn. So it'll be very interesting to see Beto tackle this at some point. I mean, he's doing the Creepshow Nathan, which is like weathered and has a kind of like a beat up, worn, torn look like this too. So obviously, he's no stranger to it, and he could do it. So it'll be very interesting when that time comes. So I'm just going to put the new head sculpt on here. Let me see if I could pop this off without making him fall. It comes off fairly easy. And I wanted you to see him on this stand. That was the other reason why I wanted to show, because this stand is the star. And like I said, any one of these Jasons, even the Sideshow Jason, would look good on this stand. So there you go. He has been crowned with the new and improved head that I never got to do until now. So there's the old one. There's the new one, and look at that. Oh my God. I mean, it's just, regardless if it's this one, the open mouth one, I mean, they just all reek of awesomeness. Look at that mask. And like I said, right now, this is the Holy Trinity. To me, these are the best, team up of Jasons out there, including others that One has done, like the Roy in part 3 that Beto did in the past. I mean, all just really, really, really great stuff. Let's see if I can get this mask off one more time, because I think last year I did show him with this head sculpt. Hold on one sec. Okay, there we go. So there's the mouth. I just wanted to show it again for people that maybe didn't see my video or pictures of last year. And again, I mean, these head sculpts are so good that, just like this guy here, I don't even know. Sometimes I wonder if I want to even pose him with the mask. The mask sometimes takes away. And this mask is interchangeable. I mean, I could put the mask over that one. I could put it over the old one. And I could put it on this new one here, right there. There you go. So the mask definitely fits, any version of these head sculpts. And there it is. It's like, I think I want to pose him without the mask, and then I put the mask back on, and he looks so badass with the mask on. So I don't know. Alexa, lights green.
Okay.
You cannot go wrong, no matter what. Alexa, lights blue.
Okay.
Beautiful. You can have any mood you want. I love these lights. Alexa, lights red.
Okay.
Yeah. How cool is that? Alexa, lights soft white.
Okay.
And back to normal. I'm going to have OCD with this one forever. But again, it deserves an encore, and it's very fitting to show with these guys, and to show the wonderful customizers and artists we have out there doing horror, and just, making our dreams come true with these Jasons. And I'm looking forward to what One does down the road, but I'm also looking forward to more from the guy that did this base, and maybe other types of bases. I think he does like a staircase for Halloween. He does other stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing. And of course, Beto Metalli, once again, kudos to him for his wonderful Jason 6, Jason 4, the Jason 5 he's gonna do, or I guess I should say Friday the 13th 5, because it's Roy and then the hallucination Jason. and beyond. I mean, Jason Goes to Hell, whatever he does or decides to do, Jason 7. I'd like to see him do a full figure of his Jason Takes Manhattan at some point because he's done the head sculpt forever. So I'm sure, that's in our future down the road. Back anyway before then with other reviews and great stuff. I'm not going to go a whole year, but, this is like my main event. My WrestleMania of Joebizz34 vids is Halloween right here. Have fun, everybody. See you soon. Peace out.